Leo, hello, how you doing? It's me, Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. Take a seat, Leo. Welcome to the Beehive. We are going to do your read this week with a huge deck. It's a huge deck. It's a combination of the Mystical Shaman Oracle, which just screams Leo to me, and the Starseed Oracle I don't normally combine decks, but I've been doing it this week. It's very Santero of me. I've been very inspired. So this is what we're doing for you. I'm very excited. We are gonna shuffle them up real fast. I've already been pre-shuffled, but nevertheless, we're gonna do a little prayer. I always pray over all my spreads, but I wanted to start doing it on camera so that way we can all pray together, because you know we like that around here. So, Father God, thank you for being here in my little lions today. Please bless these messages. Please cover these cards. Let me bring forth messages for the highest love, light, alignment, activation for my Leos, please. We praise you and we thank you to the utmost high. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. So, Leo, let's see what we got going on for you. It feels like you have a lot of stuff to do, Leo. It feels like you're really trying to have a work-life balance, like you're trying to maintain your work and your play time, your work and your relaxation time. It feels like you're trying to make sure everything's scheduled with the right time so there's not too much overlapping. But there is this energy of like, how am I gonna get all this done? Like like a little bit of an overwhelmed feeling, like, how am I gonna get all of this done? Okay, I have to schedule it appropriately. I have to make sure I schedule myself in a break, because if I don't, then I know I'll get cranky, and that it's like this whole, you're doing this whole thing. All right, this card seems to want to pop out. Defenselessness. I'm sorry. Righting past wrongs. Uprooting. Uprootings. I'm hearing making peace with the past. Making peace with the past. Because on this card too, it's two separate people up here, but if you look down here, they're actualized underground, very like Mother Earth, Pachamama energy, right? Like the roots. It's trying to make peace with the past, or perhaps actually make peace with a person that there has been like a separation, but also time, like there's been a division. It feels as though Source has separated you from someone, something, a place, perhaps, and really trying to find an inner find an inner place of stillness about that, recognizing almost like the divinity, the natural state of that person, like very integrated, like, you know what, I have light and I have dark in me, they have light and they have dark in them. We obviously had soul lessons, we both had to, like, really understanding that more than just the actions that person, place, or thing like did to you or caused in your life, right? Also taking a certain amount of accountability for the way that you have participated or not participated in situations that led to certain actualized results as well. God, these decks are so big. I don't know how Sam does this. Those decks are so big with my little tiny hands. It's like, come on, ladies, now let's get in formation. Middle world and the holy mountain. 3-6. It's my birthday. That's 9. 9 is number of completion. It's also very independent energy. 25, the holy mountain, that breaks down to a 10. That's a number of perfection. Finding completeness and perfection in the moment, despite being in between cycles and worlds for yourself, is what's coming through very, very strongly. That there is ascension, alignment, activation available right where you are as well. Also, I'm hearing like, I'm sorry I tried to walk away, like I'm sorry I gave up. This could be on yourself. This could be on your own goals. This could be you talking to Source, talking to God, saying like, I'm sorry I gave up on that. Like, I'm sorry I didn't have the strength to see that through. I'm sorry I didn't move when you told me to move. I'm sorry that, you know, I moved when you told me to stay still as well. There's something, because with this middle right here, this middle root, uprooting. You uprooted yourself. You're uprooting yourself. It's like a fight or flight response. Perhaps in the past you've had a very heavy fight or flight response out of moments of triggering, which is normal, right? Those trigger moments are supposed to reflect to us things that we need to work on personally. And I know my Leos have been going through a lot of ascension. They've been going through a lot of shadow work. Ever since Lionsgate and your birthday, you guys have really been like in the elevator business. You guys have been going through a lot of ups and downs. And with the top of this tree, very much feeling like the top of this mountain, this bubble around it does give a sense of like isolation. Like perhaps even though you are surrounded by a lot of people, you have felt very alone. Like you've been doing a lot of solitary practice, solitary work on yourself, trying to connect to divinity. Because I'm also very drawn to like all of these roots down here, realizing like the root of the problem, like the root of the matter. What is the matter? Like having it go back down. I'm almost seeing like lineage too, like dynasty, like through the roots of like your family tree, like recognizing that patterns of behavior or schools of thought that you've been maintaining or perpetuating for a long period of time, I feel like wind over here, for a long period of time are very similar to patterns of behavior and schools of thought that your parents did and your grandparents did and your cousins did and your great-great-parents, like really kind of seeing the karmic cycles move not just through your life and your interpersonal relationships and work, but also through that of the people that you know, people through your family, kind of putting those dots together, realizing that through that there's some kind of breaking of the chains, ties that bind, in which to get you to the holy mountain. There is this sense of ancestral abundance that you've been trying to unlock, like generational poverty mindset, generational, say, divorce. I'm getting that a lot, like a lot of failed relationships and a lot of poverty mindset going through your family over the course of like generations and generations and generations, and realizing how a lot of that had to do with attitudes, commitment, lack of commitment, giving up on things before they had truly like had time to come to pass. Because, you know, it's like when you plant a seed, the sprout doesn't pop up automatically. Like it takes days, it takes weeks, depending on the plant. Sometimes it could take months before you even see anything, right? And so kind of giving up on that, like a lack of faith, could be like literally like your family as a whole being perhaps very secular, not having a lot of like faith, not having a lot of hope, not having a lot of connection to the divine, and you realizing that and seeing how that's played through in your life in a lot of different ways. And so that's why you've isolated yourself perhaps from your family, from different people, from relationships, from friends, in order to work on that, to get yourself to this place of stillness, right? This man's like meditating at the top of this mountain, realizing that at the top of this mountain, high upon the rock, there is abundance, there is sunshine that shines brighter than the illusion that the moon would like to cast. But in that, it also takes a certain amount of accountability, righting past wrongs in ways that you've participated and supported this unhealthy dynamic within yourself and within your own personal work life, personal relationship life. And over here, it almost looks like a snail. It almost kind of looks like a snail over here. One day I will get a camera that you can actually see these cards better, but the sense of things that are slow moving, and snails leave a trail as well. So really realizing so many ways in which you've delayed your own abundance, delayed your own progress, delayed your own success. Again, like following it down to the root of the problem, following the trail back to like where that mindset started, where that energy started. It's like generational trauma, but where it particularly started for you. Because once you can identify it, you can work on it and you can heal it. It feels like a little bit of the missing piece of like that last thing you need. Lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. And in this card, you can see it's like over here, there's There's bombs, there's like ruined cities. There's all of this chaos, all of this turmoil, and like opening up the veil, like opening up the curtains and being like, oh, like it stopped raining. Again, it's like this sunshine, this light coming through, that it's like if you pull back the drama, if you pull back the toxicity, you can get back to the natural state of humanity, of situations that so oftentimes it really just comes down to a matter of fear, a lack of faith, people not being patient enough to have faith in God that he will bring to them, you know, just through pure faith alone, the abundance that they seek, the success that they seek, the true divinely guided love that they seek, right? But that requires commitment, that requires discipline, that requires discernment. It requires using your head and your heart. An open heart has to be paired with an open mind, and vice versa. It's body, mind, and soul. You can't leave that. It's three. It makes the Trinity. You can't leave any part of it out, especially not your soul, like in particular. But if you separate all of like the chaos away, there's so much beauty in the human experience underneath it. It's a real sense of recognizing how, despite any challenges, obstacles, traumas, things that you've been through, the fact that you can recognize it now for what it was means that you can have a greater appreciation for it, for the person that it made you, for how strong, for how resilient it made you, the wisdom that you now have to be able to sit at an ascended viewpoint, at a place of stillness, at a place of humility and also accountability. So that way, moving forward, you can make better, brighter, more positive, abundant choices for yourself to allow and be in alignment with the blessings that want to come in for you. And when you have that higher viewpoint, very giraffe spirit, that elevated perspective, then you're able to look back on your history, on your family, and in a way actually be able to do like the Mandela effect, right? Very Berenstein Bears. You can rewrite history because now you can see it from not just a higher perspective, a different perspective, but all perspectives. It's like a dolphin spirit, like this and that are true. Being able to look back on your childhood and go, you know what? Yes, my parents did the best they could with what they had. My parents, you know, raised me from a place where it came from their own experiences. They taught me what they had learned. They did the best with the wisdom that they were able to gain from their cycles. Yes, but also some of that stuff wounded me. It traumatized me a little bit. So this and that are true. All perspectives. I think that, you know, I'm seeing this bubble kind of rotate all around as well now, but that aids to a level of emotional and spiritual maturity, which allows you to have a better level of empathy for other people, which allows you to have a greater sense of empathy for yourself, being able to forgive yourself for decisions that you made, actions, behaviors that you participated in when you were at not so high of a viewpoint, not so high of an ascension rate, when you didn't know yourself as well. The spiral, back down to the point, right? It's the circular, the cyclical energy, karmic cycles. And in that, you know, it almost looks like a little bit of like that evil eye energy. Understanding that throughout the whole process, like you have been protected, right? Like you're still here, like you're still kicking, right? Maybe you limp a little bit while you kick, but like you're still kicking. That it served its purpose with all these colors. It's like you've moved through all of the chakras, like you've moved through the trigger moments. You've moved through the self-esteem issues. You've moved through the fight or flight. You've moved through your heart space. You've moved through expressing yourself. You've moved through your intuition. You've moved through your connection with the divine. You've moved through all of these things, downwards and upwards. Like I said earlier, like the elevator business, downwards and upwards, downwards and upwards. So now it's like you have a 360 view, right? Of not only yourself and your experiences, but everything else. See this card popping out? Many paths. You like the audio on that? This many paths card, what is that? 34, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, that's a number of perfection, right? That no matter what path you take, you will end up exactly where you want to go, no matter where that is. And that this is also a card for me that speaks a lot of like divine detours, divine intervention. You know, it's to make all paths straight that when you can kind of see everything from that 360 view, you have higher perspectives, all the paths that you see become straighter. Times where you thought you went all crooked, you realized that was actually times when you were growing, you were ascending, you were stretching, you were being stretched, you were being challenged to grow that emotional maturity, to grow that spiritual integrity, right? To put tools in your toolbox that you'll need to get to the place that you might not even know you're going yet. But in that, there is a formation, right? That your spiritual body, your essence comes through in that. And then you've got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. Again, like the many faces of ourselves, our many paths and our many faces. It's like the idea of you looking back on yourself like 5 years ago and how different of a person you were and the difference in decisions that you used to make or things you used to participate in ways that used to be codependent, times that you didn't set any boundaries with other people, times when you didn't set boundaries with yourself, a certain level of self-discipline, right? Self-discernment, like, no, Leo, I'm not going to do that because I know it's not good for me and I've already gone through that karmic cycle, you know? But at that point, you would have been like, I'm just going to do it again because my ego's telling me that I want to do it, right? Because I'm just feeling like giving into temptation right now. Not really understanding that work, rest, life balance that you have now. And then you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. That at some times, there's many paths that you can go. You can go with the crowd, and like, if you want, that's fine. You can also go against the crowd, but the thing you should never do is go against yourself, because so often we end up with no boundaries. We end up in these codependent situations in whatever it may be, financially codependent, emotionally codependent, spiritually codependent, where you hang on every single word that a tarot reader or a minister or a pastor says, even if for some reason what they're saying doesn't like sit well with you. It's like always assuming that someone else knows better than you do, like taking someone else's word as gospel necessarily, you know what I mean? As opposed to like the gospel as gospel, or like trusting your own intuition, trusting your own soul nudges, right? Because if I did that, I wouldn't be doing tarot videos, because a lot of the ministers that I watch, like, you know, they think I'm like a new age, whatever it may be, right? But like, that's not what my soul tells me. My soul says this is proper for you to do. Go forth and do it. But if you're externally looking for confirmation, for dependency, like for people to tell you that what you're doing is okay, that like you're a good person, right? That like you're doing fine, it's all gonna be okay. It's like you need to be able to tell yourself that it's gonna be okay. You know, you need to be able to tell yourself, you know what, if I don't want to do it the way that my family has always done it, like that's all right. Like it doesn't mean that they're bad and I'm good and I'm bad and they're good. It just means that I want to do something different for myself. You're not for everyone. Your true north might be someone else's deep south. It just shakes out that way sometimes, right? What's right for you could be very, very wrong for the person that's sitting right next to you. But being able to follow your own internal compass, your own guidance, not second guessing it, not second guessing yourself, to, you know, because sometimes there are times where we want to take accountability for something too. And, you know, oh, well, you know, I did that in that relationship. And so, you know, that could have contributed. And someone else, one of your friends just being like, screw that person was a jerk. Like, forget them. Like, because sometimes people like to do that. Sometimes when people care about us in a way of trying to express their love and support to us, they like to negate the things that we've done wrong too, right? Just trying to be in our corner. But like a true friend, someone in your true soul tribe will be like, absolutely you did that and that contributed to that. But you learned from that and they learned from that. And now you get to go be yourselves, right? Be yourself. Embrace your weirdness. That like, not everything you do has to look good on paper for everyone. It doesn't have to look good for the rest of the world. It just has to feel good in your soul when you go to bed. You have to go to bed with you every night. You have to get up with you every day in the morning. You have to like the kind of person that you see in the mirror and not just for what you're wearing, right? This card wants to stick out. The owl. Yeah, your intuition. Your intuition on full display now. He almost looks a little annoyed, honestly. So there might be an aspect of yourself that after really getting this 360 view, taking accountability, realizing that a lot of this is like generational stuff that's gone through, almost like you're mad at yourself, like, why didn't I see this sooner? Why didn't I see that this was like a pattern in my life, a pattern in my family, a pattern in my environment? Why didn't I see this sooner? Like, I thought I was smarter than this. I thought I knew myself better than this. It's that sort of energy. But if you sit in that too long, it will just drown you in it, because like, you know now. You weren't supposed to know then because you were putting tools in your toolbox. Now you know, so as you move forward, you can use those tools in your toolbox to build something. Then you have the heart of the sky, and then you have lightning. I'm hearing that song. What is that band called? Live When Lightning Crashes? Live When Lightning Crashes. That song just came to my head. I love this card. It's 24, so that breaks down to a 6. 6 for me as a reader talks of like reciprocal energy exchange back and forth. And you see, it's like the moon. See how it like whispers to you, to your higher self? It's so beautiful, and I love that so much. It almost looks like this owl is like perched on top of your head, right? It's like your intuition, like right there, right by your third eye. Because it's like, now you know, like now you see. You know, you didn't know that then, but you know it now. And now because you understand how to speak a little bit better to God, right? And how to listen more closely, more quietly for your guidance. You know which steps to take moving forward with many different paths and options and opportunities available to you. There is a sense of longingness though, like if I could only go back and do it differently. And again, like there's so many times that we could wish we could go back and do things differently, but we can't, and you're not supposed to. You're supposed to do it exactly as you did it in that time, because again, lessons, soul lessons. If we knew everything about ourselves, if we knew everything about God, if we knew everything about how everything was supposed to play out for us, we would just be up floating around in the ether. We wouldn't need to come down here and have a physical human experience in these carbon 3D dense bodies, right? That's part of the fun of it, I suppose, right? Even though it doesn't always feel super fun. Is as you ascend, you know, your spirit becomes greater than this carbon body that you exist in, right? You elevate, you ascend, you're able to float your energy outside of that. It's like astral projection in a way. And then you have this lightning. It's almost like you realize this in the 3D, which activates something. You're having a lot of activation energy in your last reading as well. By getting like hints now. It's almost like you hit a level of maturity, of perspective. Now God kind of gets to whisper in your ear about what your next steps are. And it's almost like kind of like looking forward, like, so it's over there. It's on that path over there. And then the alchemy of that, right? The combination of the spiritual and the natural creates like this alchemical electrical experience where now not only are you in the flesh, but your spirit is alive and well too, walking through you. See with this outline of your body here as well. It's a little bit of a like Iron Man kind of energy. It is so beautiful. And 3 is a number of divinity. And right here, it almost looks like there's like a cross and a cross. It's almost like there are no more crossroads for you because you know how to follow the signs now. You know how to follow the signs. And the impact that you have, I think you understand now that how electric, it's electric. Okay. How electric, like the impact of your decisions that you make really have on other people. What it really, like the cause and effect, that energetic energy exchange of how it affects like your 3D life, how it affects the paths and the opportunities that you have moving forward, how it affects your abundance, your flow, your blessings, your money, how it affects the way you feel about yourself, how it affects the way things manifest for you in the 3D. On the bottom of the deck, tree of life. Tree of life. A lot of trees, Leo. Upper world. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And now it's like I'm almost getting like easy pass. Now you get an easy pass to the upper world, to your higher self. Now that in the 3D you've done all of this work, now you're able to kind of connect with your higher self and have your higher self like sit with, not just be higher above you, almost as though you've ascended your physical self into your higher self. And now you guys walk hand in hand in order to grow these different things out of the middle world. You've worked your way out of the middle world, having worked yourself up this mountain, having to accept your true authenticity, take accountability, and also acknowledge just like patterns of things that have gone on before you things like behavioral patterns that you've learned as well, such as codependency, not setting boundaries, setting too hard of a boundaries, right? Being overly vulnerable, being not vulnerable enough, whatever it may be. And in that, you get to move up now to the upper world. You get to work, be a true co-creator, co-author in your experience with source. And I love this card because it always looks like this divine eagle is like dropping down these messages, and he drops them down in a forest into trees, right? And then there's like this radioactive frequency that comes out with all these little pages come flying out. And pages in the regular tarot are often depicted by children. So for me, that's also telling me that you get to energetically shift the way that moving forward, your family, your children, your children's children, their children's children, how the frequency, the vibration in which they get to live and grow and thrive on moving forward. You know, it's like in the Bible when they say it's like, you know, blessings not just for you, but for, you know, like your children and your children 1,000 generations after you. Sort of thing too, really like flipping the script on that, kind of realizing that it starts with you. It starts with you, Leo. I was like, this card's sticking out to me in the deck. The golden children. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. How beautiful. I think it was a lot about like inner child healing for you as well, like going to your inner child and being like, I'm here and I got you. My masculine and my feminine energies are in balance, and we both, as integrated internal family, we have you. You're not abandoned. You're not rejection. You can go color on the walls or eat ketchup with a spoon if that's what you want to do. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm going to take care of you, right? That inner fool energy that lets you move forward with faith. Do things that your ego would always be way too terrified or proud to do, right? Because it takes faith and it takes humility in order to kind of jump for joy, right? It really does. That's so gorgeous. Again, it's like dynasty, lineage, new generations moving through this portal that now you've opened up for yourself. And not just for yourself. You thought you were doing it for yourself, but you've actually done it for so many other people. So that's really, really gorgeous, Leo. I love that. I love that for you. So thank you guys very, very much. Look at the bottom, Earth School. That's what you've been in, Leo. You've been in Earth School. Congratulations, you graduated to the upper world. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing all my videos. You guys are just so good to me, and I love you so much. If you're interested in your individual monthly, that is on the Patreon. That is linked down below in the description box, along with my email, my social media links, my Instagram, my Twitter, if you want to find me over there. All of the decks that I used, we used the Starseed Oracle and the Mystical Shaman Oracle for you today. And I think that's it. Is that it? That's the outro. Yeah. Very long-winded. But I love you, Leo. Thank you so much. I will see you very, very soon. Okay? All right. Goodbye.